and it actually stains the limestone over time. So when you're leaning on it or you're touching it, it kind of just destroys the cave that little bit. Now we do want to try and keep it as natural as possible for the rest of time. Now, in saying that, you're not the first, or you will not be the last today. So in here, the bats are never in here, but they were in here last tour, okay? Saying that, they could make a complete fool of me and have moved by then, by the last 2 hours. So hopefully they're still in here, but they're down the bottom, so we're not going to be able to see them or anything, but you'll be able to hear them. It's really good. They make a really cool noise when they're sitting there talking to each other. Basically, yeah, maybe 2/3 of the way down the cave. Yeah. That rock that you see there, straight underneath it, you'll see a big black patch. That's where the bats are. Yeah, some of them,
Do you get so many animals in here after the bat?
sometimes, yeah, we've got the pythons in here. Yeah. Because of the bat poo. So, bat poo, like I said before, once it gets decomposed by fungus, that fungus actually makes the nutrients available for tiny little bugs. And the tiny little bugs will eat those nutrients, and then the bigger bugs will eat the smaller bugs, and bigger.
Looking to the chests of their mothers and...
Oh, that's so cute. So cute.
Is that there one of the vines?
Yeah, it is. That's one of the tree roots.
Wait, so...
Do you remember what that stuff's called? They just got eaten by the bats. They were seen by the bats and eaten. These ones weren't seen by the bats, so they were able to live long enough to reproduce and become the abundant species. So, perfect example. I apologise if you do not believe in natural selection. At least, if not 80% of you, should know how limestone forms by now. How does limestone form?
Coral.
How?
Coral decay, it's all died and dead and compacted and...
Well, there's a coral reef from twice the age of the dinosaurs ago, which is pretty amazing in itself. Now, you know how earthquakes and earth tremors would have created cracks inside the rock, and then when it became part of the water table, water moved its way through those cracks and eventually opened up all these caverns that we're able to stand in today. So water would have come through from up there, and this would have actually been part of the water table where we're standing in here now. So that was a long time ago. Now it went through 2 other stages before the present day. Anyone know any of the other stages that it's gone through, or the eras that we've gone through here at the caves? You don't generally learn this on the other tours. But does anyone know? Yes, cool, I get to say something. Well, I get to teach you something. Alright, now, all the tectonic plates kind of did a lot of movement around then, and we basically stopped being a coral reef anymore, and we eventually became a really, really lush, dense rainforest on top of us. And that was when this cave was still deep underground, about 200 metres deep underground. And when I say lush rainforest, I'm talking Daintree type lush, really, really beautiful rainforests. And there would have been dinosaurs walking around on top of us, and the megafauna walking around on top of us. You know what megafauna are? Yeah? What are they? Do you remember?
Big mammals?
Big animals, yeah. So in Australia we had the marsupials. So we had the 2-ton wombats. We had a 6-metre long snake that had about a 30-centimetre girth on it, the Yurngula. My personal favourite is the Thylacoleo. Now, if I start talking about all these megafauna, you will not get home on time. Okay, so I can't start because I'm like a Pringle packet. I won't be able to stop talking about megafauna. But you're all on road trips, I'm assuming. So if you do have spare time in the car or wherever, and like, oh, what did that weird tour guide tell us to look up again? Oh, megafauna. Google it, have a read about them. There's some amazing animals that used to live in Australia. About 50,000 years old, so they're our new fossils. And then every centimetre represents about 350 years up to present day. Now, this dig pit represents a time when this was open, all right? So things could come in and out of here. And I've already given you a hint by saying this is really, really small bones that were found in here, okay? Don't say, oh, don't guess 2 or 3 bones, because you're thinking dinosaur level. Think along the lines of really, really tiny bones. Okay, how many bones do you reckon we dug out of here?
20,000.
20,000? Maybe add 2 more zeros to it. Okay, so just under 2 million bones were dug out of this dig pit. Okay, now I'll come around with this dustpan here, and this one's a pretty obvious one. Can you see what kind of bone this one is?
Jaw.
Yeah, so the back teeth on him, very, very similar to our molars, aren't they? So this is of a herbivore. They're used to grind through cellulose and vegetation, okay? I'll try and find my carnivore jawbone, but it is literally 1 centimetre long. And every time I put it in a little corner, another guide comes along and just kind of messes it up. So I'll show you guys as I go, and I'll try and find it as I come around. So have a little look with me. Oh, there it is. Yes, sick. All right. Yeah, oh my God, it's harder. All right, so you can see the other little jawbones in here. Tiny, tiny baby ones. This will be of a rodent. You can see the rodent tooth at the front there. So they're all herbivores there. And then this one's a little carnivore one. Look at the teeth on it. Very little. But can you tell the difference between the two? Okay. What do these teeth look like? What's the difference between that one and the teeth you have?
Sharp.
Yeah? You reckon they're sharper? They are small, yeah. Yeah. I think that's more just the jaw we have, but the type that are growing on the rock wall. So whenever you see, if you do go to gorges like Carnarvon Gorge or Blackdown Tablelands and things like that, this dark grey colour that you see all over that wall, that is actually lichen. So you fly over Carnarvon Gorge and you see big sections of white, and that's all newly exposed rock, because that's the true colour of sandstone. When I'll show you guys here what the true colour of limestone is, it's like that white pinky colour. So anyway, you see that dark grey, even when you looked at the very beginning of the tour and you see the top of the cast, all of that is lichen. It's not actually the true colour of limestone. But what I really like about this cave is imagining what it would have looked like back in the day when it was all underground. So this is a cave collapse. All these rocks here used to be part of the ceiling. So it would have been like a big enclosed dome in here, and water would have rushed through from where you guys walked up there. Water would have rushed through from up there and smashed into this rock wall here. And see how it's got that curvature to it? That curvature there. So water would have slammed into that, and water's quite powerful. If you've ever been dumped by a wave, you'd know that. And so water smashed into here with such a force that it actually created upward whirlpools of water, and it carved out these domes that you see in the way. And then it goes behind this rock and then comes out that way over there. So most of it you can pretty much do like this, okay? There's some sections where you'll be able to stand and go like this. Well, most of us will be able to stand. You won't be able to stand at all through there. So you can stretch a little bit when you're in there, but then you will come to a rock that I have nicknamed the inconveniently placed rock. And you remember that at the beginning of the tunnel? Possibly. So you have to get on your like army crawl underneath it. It's about this wide, okay? So you have to go through there. If it looks daunting for you, just have a look underneath it, because it isn't a tunnel. It's literally a rock that you just need to get underneath, okay? Now, and the rest of the tour is basically walking. Oh, yeah.
Vì mình mà biểu sao thì là mình cần vào đó.
Which way?
Yeah. She could go without you. Yeah. Yeah.
It's still lovely to look around here.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Chaturang. At bumi kang pop-up ng kailan. May na lang. Gala ka rin na.
බලාගෙන යයි කරන්ට් වයර්ද දන්නේ
අම්මට සුදුගානක නම්
ඈ
දින දිගියක් අපිට ෆෝන් ගන්න ආයි රොකම්පන් ගිහින් යන්නයි බැන්න
කොහොමද චතුරංග
That's a small bit.
yes.
මේ මගේ ඉස්සරහා යන එක වලි ගණ්ඩක් වගේ උනේ සමහරවල් කකුල විතරයි පේන්නේ ඉතුරු ටික ඉස්සරහා ගිහිල්ලා උඩ උඩ කකුල උඩ පෙතන
You alright? Yeah.
Second time.
Okay. So you did this before?
No, I just did this.
Oh, okay.
Did you see adrenaline?
Yeah,
You're actually doing it?
Yeah, yeah.
You can imagine she was probably bigger,
Yeah.
which is hard if she wasn't.
Because the girl came through yesterday and yeah, she was with 2 other young girls and she was still crying when she came and ordered a sandwich. She's like, oh, she told me that she got stuck in the whale's belly though. She does keep going. He's like, you're already thinking of something new to say by the time you finish. All the rocks that were underneath it have exploded down.